Guys, I wanted to talk to you a little bit about the silk screens that I posted about yesterday and using them on ceramics. I'm going to kind of show you how I did it and talk to you a little bit more about using silk screens. So silk screens are basically like, it's a type of like a, I don't know what you would call it, it's like a mesh. And you use UV light to burn the design into the mesh. And then when you paint it, obviously your paint goes through, you peel these off, and then you have the design. And these are great because they're reusable. So you wash them immediately after you're done using them. This is super important. You have to wash them right away and hang them to dry. You don't want to lay them down on your countertops anywhere because they will dry and they will stick and you will end up with something like this. I just found this out the hard way. I had forgotten about this. You cannot, once you're done using these, there's a backing on the back. It's just a clear plastic. And once you're done burning everything into your silk screen and it's dried and ready to use, you use them, wash them, and then you put the plastic right back on the paper, on the silk screen while it's wet, because they do have a slight tackiness on the back, so which is nice because they will stick to like a platter or a plate or a mug or whatever you're putting it on. So, and these really are for use with underglazes only, no acrylic paints, obviously. I mean, I guess you could try it. I've never tried. I don't think it would work with it, but I don't know. So I'm just going to talk to you a little bit about this IKONART Stencil Maker, which is what I purchased, and it's how you burn the silk screens onto the material. So silk screens are made by UV light. So the first thing you want to know about this is they come in these ultraviolet protectant envelopes. This is important. Keep them stored in here in a cool, dry place, out of sunlight, in a dark room. When you expose these sheets with this light, it has to be done in a completely dark room with the lights off, because if you expose this sheet to any kind of light before you get ready to put your design on it, it will be ruined. And these things are not cheap. So they come in packs of 5 when you buy your kit. And then you'll also get a kit of 5 of these transfer sheets. So I printed it on paper just so I could show you. I did my initial design in Procreate on my iPad. Printed it out on paper. This was just a tester to make sure I had enough black on there, because the black is what burns the design into the paper when it's exposed to the light. So this was my tester. I didn't want to run my first one on this, obviously. I had to make sure it was okay on this. So then you print it on this, and then you take your silkscreen sheet, lay it down on the table, and then you cover it up with the clear plastic sheet that comes with it. And you'll do this on this clipboard here. As soon as you come off of here, you're gonna put it on the clipboard, and then you go on to the next step. So you wipe it down, make sure there's no bubbles in your screen. And then again, you're in a dark room, a bathroom or whatever with no lights. Set a timer on your phone for 30 seconds, turn it on. It exposes this UV light, which I don't have it plugged in right now, so I can't show you how incredibly bright it is. But if you go to the IKONART Stencil's website, they have some really awesome demonstrative videos where you can see how it works and everything. And then the one thing that I really want to impress to you, if you do decide to purchase this kit, it's $199. It's worth every penny, because the images that you can print, you do not have to use SVG files. You can just print like JPEGs or whatever you're using, TIFF files, PNGs, you can just print them right off of your printer. You don't have to have, you know, you don't have to have specific, anyway, you know what I'm trying to say, sorry. Anyway, so getting back to the machine, basically after I burned all of my images into the silk screen, you put it under the light again for another 2 minutes. That like seals it basically so that it can be reusable. And then I just cut them into pieces, and you can completely do that, or you can keep them all on a sheet. You can keep them in a binder. You just want to make sure that you put the plastic back on the backs of these while they're wet, and then let them dry, hang them to dry so they're ready for the next use. And this was the plate that I created with those stencils. Now, this still has to be glazed, so we'll talk a little bit about the paint that I used. I was going to show you really quickly on a mug. I used stroke and coat under glazes on this, 3 coats on the outside, and then I just colored the images with the stroke and coat paints in the bottle. So really easy, kids can do it. And if you don't have great handwriting, you can buy fonts. There's lots of free font websites out there, and you can buy your own fonts and make up your own wording and print them on yourself and put them on platters or whatever you want. But these do have to be glazed if you're going to do it that way. So let's do a sample. I'll just show you, these were so easy to use. When you cut them out, you want to leave enough room around the edges to hold it down while you're putting the paint down. It's important to try to keep it as flat as possible, but you see how this is bendable. So it works really nicely if you're trying to put it on a round mug. But you'll see that you have to hold it down pretty tight. So you want to make sure you leave enough room when you cut it out to get that on there. And I should have grabbed some tape. Actually, I'm gonna grab some masking tape so I can tape these sides down. And then we'll paint this on. Now, after you have exposed your piece for the 30 seconds, you're going to take it off of here, lay it on the clipboard that comes in your kit. Now, this is the part that I can't show you, but if you go to the IKONART Stencil website, you can view their videos on this next part. After you've exposed this, there will be a burn in this material, but you will not be able to see it. The next part is turn it over, hold it up against you, take it into your kitchen, or I have like a mudroom sink. I turn the light off, and you hold this under, and you're gonna spray this with like your sprayer from your sink. And the water pushes the material through the mesh. And then you have your design burned on there. So that is a very important step. There are specific things that need to be done as far as water pressure and water temperature when you're doing that. And it takes about 2 to 3 minutes to spray the water. It should take about 2 to 3 minutes for you to get all of the blue washed through so that you can see the clear and you can see your design. And that's when you'll really be able to notice, like I'll hold this one up close because this is my first one and I actually messed up on this one. So I held the hose, the faucet too close to the fabric here, and when you do that, too much water pressure will actually ruin your lettering there. And you can see here on his eyes and the socks. So I'm gonna redo this, and this will be one of the 4 sheets that I have available. Okay, so we want to make sure that we pull the backing off of the silk screens before we put the paint down. So it's just a clear backing. And you want to make sure you keep that because you want to put that back on your piece after you're done using it. Okay, I didn't get this down flat. You want to make sure that it's down flat. Pull tight. There you go. Still seeing a little bit of a bubble here on this piece. And I probably should have used painter's tape here in this instance, but couldn't find any, so masking tape it is. I've got a little bit of black stroke and coat paint here. And just, I do not have a kiln and stroke and coat underglazes at my house. I go to the local ceramic shop and she allows me to bring home like a to-go kit with the colors that I want and the applicators. I come home, I paint my piece, and then I take it back and they glaze it and fire it and call me when it's ready to pick up. So that might be an option for you in your area. I always recommend hitting up the mom and pop ceramic stores in your areas versus like a Color Me Mine or, you know, like a national chain pottery store. So, okay, so let's do this. Let's see what happens. This is my first time using this. I hope it works. Fingers crossed, huh? And I mean, you can let it dry for a minute if you want and put on a second coat. This stuff dries so ridiculously fast. You know, a minute, 2 minutes. And I'm gonna do this one on this side and then paint them with the stroke and coat bottles. All right, let's see what happens here. A moment of truth. Ah, dang it. I get an F, epic fail. Well, guess what, guys? Out of me, you get the mistakes and the and the wins. Okay, so we'll wipe that off with some water and a sponge. Looks like I've got to adjust my printing on the end because it just didn't quite come out that right there. Maybe I needed to let that dry a little bit longer. But let's see the up close. This I'll have to adjust and do a remake, but pretty excited. So I'd love to know what you guys think about the silk screens. I'd love to hear your comments and any questions that you have. Like I said, I'm here to answer your questions. I'm here to help make ceramics fun for you guys, and anything that I can do. If you guys want to direct message me, if you decide that you want this IKONART Stencil or any of the sheets, I am an affiliate partner with them. So if you'd like my promo code to save 15% off the kit, just direct message me either at my personal page or at my business page, which is Hope and Dimples Studio. And if you guys haven't liked my business page, please do so, because I will be posting updates about webinars and things like that there. And if you'd like to follow my reels and my videos, I do post them there, and you can follow me personally. You can follow me, or you can follow my business page. I don't generally accept friend requests from people that I don't know. So if you sent me a friend request, I don't really look at those, but I do actually refer people to just follow me so you can watch my videos and updates there. And on my business page, I have all my social links, so you can view my stuff other than ceramics, because I do a lot of other things besides ceramics. So I'd love to hear from you guys. If you, like I said, please use that promo code if you decide that you want to purchase this. And I will have my silk screens up in the next day or two, available for purchase, hopefully through Facebook Marketplace. So keep an eye out for that, and I will be here for questions. Leave them in the comments below. Happy crafting, everybody.